Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Josiah Calevra, and today I want to talk about something I'm pretty new to, but I'm enjoying every minute of my experience with this right here, the Mamiya 645. Let's get into it. All right, so this is a medium format film camera. I actually picked it up at my local camera store about 3-4 months ago, and I've truly been enjoying my experience with this. I haven't really had a chance to use medium format. I've only used it one time, and it was really for only one roll of film, and I had no control of the post process, and it was more of an on-the-fly experience. So I didn't really get a chance to fully envelop myself in shooting medium format, but that is what triggered my curiosity in shooting on medium format. So I decided to kind of just peek around for a little bit, and I was a little astonished by the pricing of how much these cameras cost. Just being the fact that it's a film camera, and I'm just not aware I wasn't aware previously as to how much the cameras cost in general. So I finally found one for a decent price. This was about $450 at my local camera shop. Really good condition. The only thing I really needed to do was just clean off some of the dust and just polish her up a little bit. That was about it. So I didn't come into this with really high expectations of how the film will come out. The only thing I was really kind of basing it on was what I saw on Pinterest shot with the camera, and then also what I saw on social media that was also shot with the camera. I wasn't trying to assume that I was gonna get Hasselblad type of images with this camera. I wanted to kind of play around and figure out what I really needed to learn so that I can actually make these photos come out to a way that I was very satisfied with. Come to find out, a lot of the things that I didn't know, even when it came to shooting film, was that a lot of the characteristics that I wanted out of the camera actually came from the film stock and not the actual camera. So that was a little bit relieving to me. So I was able to experiment with different film stocks and get different images versus trying to get different images by swapping out different cameras, which would have been extremely costly. Not as if buying film and getting that developed isn't costly on its own, but it's a little bit cheaper than constantly buying medium format cameras. But we'll also talk about the price of film later on in this video. Moving on, I kind of want to give my first impressions of this camera. I truly love the experience of shooting this camera. It feels really great in my hands. It has like a really good feel on this grip that's on the side. Yeah, here you go, like this grip right here on the side. It feels really good. This actually came with the camera. This power grip right here actually just advances the film, and you can also take the photo right here. And then also I love a lot of the safety mechanism that this has, where there's a lock right here, and then there's also a lock down here. Well, not really a lock, but this is where the shutter would originally be at, down here, but you can actually lock that as well. And then also the third lock is this film slide right here that prevents you from actually even taking a photo, even if all the locks are on, and preventing you from misfiring. So I personally appreciate that so much, because I would definitely be that person to just accidentally waste a bunch of film for no reason by hitting the buttons, trying to figure out, oh, well, does this work? Does this, is this how this goes? Yeah, so definitely first impressions on that. Before I even developed any of the film, it just feels good as a camera to have in your hands, and even the systems that come with this camera. So I did have a few complications along the way, not necessarily pertaining to the camera, but more or less my experience shooting film, where a lot of things I just didn't know, and I just had to kind of figure it out as I went along. The first one was understanding that the film stock was definitely more the factor of how my photos were going to come out. I truly need to understand that certain ISOs were going to give me a different look, certain film stocks were going to give me a different set of colors, and also there is a difference between different types of black and white, and then also other techniques such as pushing and pulling, for your film. I actually haven't tried to push or pull my film yet. I'm just still trying to get into a good basis of like being comfortable shooting film so that I can naturally just process it before I start doing like different techniques right now. At the moment, that is where I'm at, more or less just testing and experimenting different film stocks to figure out what I personally like. So the next thing is metering. I have my own light meter that I carry around and it's super helpful, but a lot of the times I don't want to carry the meter around. It's just cumbersome. I would rather just get out and start shooting. So thankfully, the viewfinder has an internal metering system in it that I can use. And I personally like it. It will show you if it's overexposed or underexposed, and then it'll give you like a little green dot when it's right on point. The thing is, it's evaluative, so it's gonna meter for the whole frame. So if you have part of the sky that's in it, obviously the sky is gonna be a lot brighter, so you're gonna have to go in and meter your subject. Well, you want your subject to be properly exposed. So you actually have to physically go up to your subject and meter as if the sky is not there, and then back up and then recompose. I didn't know that at first. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but I was trying to figure out, I was like, well, why is my exposure looking all weird and whatnot? Because when you do meter for somebody, like someone's face, you go right up to them and put the meter under their chin. So the common sense change is disconnected there for a second, but it's all good. I figured it out and my exposure is right on point. And then finally understanding that film costs a lot of money. It's not necessarily like the most super expensive thing, but on a regular basis, yes, it can be. Because if you're developing 5 rolls at a time, that's about $200 every time you dump off those 5 rolls. And it may not seem like that's a lot, but there's only 15 shots on this, and going through 5 rolls of film is pretty easy. And then also buying a box of film is about $50. So it begins to add up over time. So what I did in order to cut costs was I bought a scanner for myself, and that way it's basically half the price when I drop off a load of film, and then I can scan it on my own. And also I personally like to have like that personal touch on my own, so it's pretty fun. So closing out, I wanted to talk about what I learned and what I gained from shooting medium format film and on my Mamiya. The thing is, I already have a digital setup, and it will kind of seem like it doesn't make sense for me to actually start shooting on medium format or on film if it's already a bit costly to actually do it and to run through the entire process of getting the film, developing it, and buying the extra accessories to scan it. The thing is, I really learned to be more appreciative of my shots and be more appreciative of the moment. I am very limited on what I can make as far as what I can make on one roll. And what I mean by that is the amount of shots. So I slow it down, I take my time, and really, truly pay attention to what I'm doing. It made me a lot more critical and a little bit more analytical about my shots, and not really analytical, a little bit more deliberate. That's a better word I should use. A little bit more deliberate about what I'm actually taking a photo of. And then also, to be honest, it makes you really appreciate a lot of the photographers that came before us. All they had was film, and they had a very limited amount of film. And if you've seen how a lot of these photos came to be, or you've seen a lot of these photos that were maybe like in the 1980s and the 1960s and the 70s, I don't know why I went out of order like that, but basically the time frame before there was digital, the photos came out amazing and they were on film. And if you tried to just hop in and replicate that, you'll find yourself very, very confused, and you'll find yourself getting really frustrated. And you realize that this takes a lot of time to master and to understand and really have an eye for what's going on. You really have to envision what you're going to take a photo of and be very, very, very precise about what you're even clicking that shutter for. And I truly appreciate what I've learned from shooting on film. I appreciate those that came before me, and I really understand what it means to be able to envision your shot before you even take it. You see the world differently, you slow down the moments. It's almost like you get a second chance at seeing the world. You see it on a regular basis, it passes by so fast, and you get the ability to take your time and slow it down forever. Like it literally, you get a chance to literally freeze time. It feels like an amazing superpower that I feel like a lot of people don't even realize even exists. I have a really deep gratitude towards the art of it. And I really hope that you guys get a chance to try and experience shooting medium format for yourself or just shooting film for yourself. I really think you'll learn a little bit more about yourself and a little bit more about your creative process. That's all I got for today. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Oh yeah, wait. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I keep forgetting that every time. Like, share, and subscribe. Somebody else will probably like this video, so send it out to them. Like, hey, I know you've been looking for something like this. Yeah, so send it out. Subscribe so you can be in tune for the next video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.